Throwback Free Strings Friday.
Coming up.
Okay, Matthew, in an effort to better serve the throwback audience for Throwback Guitar Lounge, we're starting something called Free Strings Friday. And can you guess what Free Strings Friday includes?
Possibly free strings.
Free strings, you're right. So throwback among our well-known guitar pickups and effect pedals and variety of guitar products. We also have some very custom, special-made strings for us, and these sell quite well for us. We sell a lot of these pure nickel round core strings. These are pure nickel hex core. These are perhaps our two biggest sellers, but we also have round core, hex core, nickel plated steel, and acoustic. We're one of the few people that sells machine wound acoustic round core and machine wound pure nickel round core. And they're made for us by a shop that's about 20 miles down the road. We have an arrangement where they make custom strings to our spec. So for this Friday, the date of which is, what's the date, Matthew?
March 29th.
March 29th. If you buy anything through the Throwback website, you can use the coupon code that will be in the description, and you'll get a free set of strings with your order. So it's also a excuse for us to produce some content this week, serve you guys with some free strings, and we'll try to produce something that's informative and perhaps entertaining. Along those lines, Matthew, I had an interesting experience. Last Friday, I was on my laptop and I saw, actually it was my iPad, but I saw a notification for a new Phil McKnight Know Your Gear podcast. And I like to watch them. He often has interesting sort of insider information about the guitar gear industry that I find interesting. So
And informative.
Informative, yeah. And so I watched it. And going to it, he's sort of the last few episodes he's been talking about pickups that he makes. And I had looked for his website before, never found it. But there was a link at the top of the description for this show, the podcast last week. And do you know the number of the podcast?
I believe it's podcast number 356.
356. So I clicked the link before I watched the podcast, and it took me to his new Black Star pick, or is it Black? No, not Black Star. It's Black Stock Pickups website.
Right.
And it had something interesting on the landing page. And I texted you immediately about it, and I'll show you what it is. Here, I'll get my iPad here. It was that was Friday last week. That was the Black Star Pickups webpage. And do you notice anything different about that, Matthew?
Well, when I first noticed, I said, "Did you sell your winder?"
Yeah, that's the main photo there, and we'll put it up, I guess, for all to see from a screenshot. This is a screenshot of his website last Friday. That is one of our pickup winding machines that came out of the Gibson factory. This machine was taken out of the Gibson factory by Les Paul before they moved to Nashville. Mm-hmm. And this is documented to have been used on 50s era PAFs and P90s. There's photos of this thing in use, so it's a really kind of cool capability we have that we use for our PAF repros. So I emailed Phil McKnight because I was kind of curious as to why I took that photo too. So he didn't sneak in the middle of the night and take the photo. I thought possibly he snuck in at night. He's making pickups on our machine. We don't know it.
Like Santa Claus?
Yeah, yeah. But that wasn't the case.
No.
But I emailed him Friday, and I heard back. I heard back Tuesday or Wednesday. But Monday they took the picture down and replaced it with a different picture. So we heard back Tuesday from them, and apparently they had paid someone to make the website, and they weren't aware that the photo was a photo on our website that is copyrighted image, and also this is a capability unique to us. So they were happy to take it down, and so no problem there. But an interesting part of this podcast was he has a section in the podcast about
pickup marketing versus authenticity.
versus authenticity.
Around
so
1 hour, 2 minute mark.
Yeah. Okay, Matthew. So from that, from that experience of watching the podcast, you watched it too, the Philip McKnight podcast. We came up. We thought, hey, let's comment about some of these points he makes and about authenticity and pickup marketing and all that. And you've got a transcript here of his podcast, or is it edited a bit?
I've edited things down a little bit.
Okay.
But it's very close.
Okay, well, let's kind of cover the things that we thought maybe we had our take on it, and
okay. So the question
add that.
The question at the part of this podcast was entitled "Pickup Marketing versus Authenticity." The person
This is where it starts out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little of the 1 hour, 2 minute mark. The person asked the question to Phil, says, why would a pickup company use a rough cut or sand cast magnet over a polished magnet? Is this just marketing, or does the rough cut magnet do something for the hotter / Seymour Duncan 2.0 pickup?
Okay, so talking about it, some new model of Seymour Duncan pickup that has a rough cast magnet. Got it.
Yeah. Okay, so then Phil gets into his answer, and
this is Phil talking.
This is Phil. So Phil's answer is, he says, we're not going to talk better. We're not going to talk, magic unicorn powder. We're going to talk about reproduction.
Okay.
So you have a product that's a pickup, and you like it, and you want to reproduce it, so you take it apart.
Yeah.
That's generally what he says.
This is his approach, yeah. This is a way people often learn. Yeah.
So then he says, however, when they were reproducing pickups, they started to notice things. First of all,
I assume he's talking about when people specifically made a point of, hey, we're going to reproduce.
Yeah.
We're going to make a repro, let's say PAF.
Yeah.
Okay.
So people started noticing things. They said, first of all, this is Phil talking, the technology changed. Now they cut the pickup magnets precisely, and they're smooth. And before they used to sand cast them, and they'd have these little rough marks in them.
Okay, this is a misconception.
Okay.
So generally, for quite a while, until people really started focusing on PAF, or making a repro, typically a PAF, if we're talking about humbucker bar magnets, if you were to source magnets, and if you were to take a pickup apart, it'd be likely a more modern Alnico would have shiny sides on every side, right? And I think that's what he's referring to as a precisely cut magnet, that somehow the technology's changed, and that's not sandcast. And sandcast refers to magnets that have little sort of speckly marks on them, where you can clearly see that it was poured into a sand mold. Well, the truth is, all of those magnets are sandcast. The ones that look precisely cut are just simply ground on all sides, and it gives a shiny appearance. And the reason for that is interesting, and you probably wouldn't think about it unless you had ordered a large quantity of magnets directly from a magnet manufacturer. And the reason's simple. Although the difference in sort of the texture of it can actually redirect the magnetic field, but from a manufacturing standpoint, I'm positive. Well, I have to believe that Gibson did rough sandcast magnets because it's cheaper. If you order directly from a magnet manufacturer, you have to provide a drawing, and then on that drawing you have to provide the dimensions, the tolerance, and you have to show which sides of the magnet are finished ground, and they charge more for each side that is finished ground. So when we order our magnets, we want them to be like vintage, since we make a PAF repro, but we depending upon the magnet, we spec a little different as to how many sides, but we typically will do 3 sides that are finished ground, and the other sides are roughly ground, and I had an engineer at Thomas and Skinner describe it as that they quickly grind it to take the pimples off. They do that just as a way to kind of cut down the tolerance, but they do it quickly and don't do this fine grinding where every side is shiny. And in fact, I have this week, or this last week, we got a shipment of magnets from Thomas and Skinner. This is part of a shipment. This is, you can see here. I haven't even opened this yet.
Not e-
No, let's see if it
cut it.
shows on camera there. But there's a little T and an S. You can see it here. T and S. These are kind of weird throwback sort of, not to be a pun, boxes. But they have this little magician on the box.
Oh, really?
So
Knows that
now
before.
I don't claim these pickups to be magic, but they actually have them. They're the magnets.
Maybe
But they
are.
actually have a magician on their box, and it says something. It says Mr. I think it's Mr. Mag. Is it Mr. Magnetic? Mr. Magnesian? I don't know. But this is some 50s or 60s logo thing that they did. I think that they used to make sort of like a magnet kit for like a home
Oh, really?
magician, like for kids. I think I went through the website once because I was like, what the heck is that on there for?
Have they brought that back, or is that they always had that on the boat?
I think they've had that since the 50s, maybe. But I mean, if you look at it, it's just this old retro thing. I don't think they offer that anymore. But it was once a product they sold. So anyway, I'm not claiming they're magic, but the people that sold it to us, they actually put a magician on the box.
That tells you something.
So we custom order these with I believe these are 3 sides ground. These are our short Alnico 2, and our last episode was the ESG 102B episode. These are the magnets that go in there. We've been selling so many of these that I had to reorder. This is a small portion of the order. I think for these I got to order, I think from Thomas and Skinner, I got to order 2,000 of these. This is not 2,000, but they out of the kindness of their hearts, they feed us these so I don't take the hit on the price all at once.
Right.
So here's the packing slip. Okay. And how many do we have in here? We've got, it says it's 11.65 pounds. And we've got 303 in here.
I was going to say 500. But
this is sort of the last half of the first tranche of these things. But, so you're seeing this. I guess this is real-time exposure of
an unboxing.
a real USA-made bar magnet, and they put them in these little plastic bags. If you go to China, if you get overseas magnets, they're always in a little white box.
Don't have one here.
If you see a tour video of a pickup maker, and you see lots of these little rectangular white boxes, and they're not selling effect pedals. These are the boxes they're using to pack their product, or they're boxes that all the Chinese magnets always come in. Anyway, so I'll open up one of these, and I will display a sandcast magnet, and point out the sides that are ground and the sides that are not. But again, all of these magnets are sandcasts, even the bright, shiny ones. Now you see these, you might say, Matthew, why is that magnet not bright and shiny? Even the ground side. You see that?
Let me see. Yeah, I like these. I like the finish on
So the reason is that, and I didn't know this until I talked to engineers from Arnold, Thomas and Skinner, and Permanent Magnet, all in the U.S. Permanent Magnet now unfortunately out of business. Sad story. But we still have the melt record from them. So we can still get them. They had an arrangement with Arnold. And so our melt record for Permanent Magnet is now over to Arnold. But the way it was explained to me is that they just have a preference often as to whether or not they are going to grind them before or after heat treating. This seems to particularly be a thing if you have a rough cast surface. So this side here is ground. Let's see how close I can get that. See if you can see that. This side is ground. This side is still sand cast surface, but with the pimples knocked off according to the Thompson Skinner engineer. And then we have this, and we have that and ground. These are precisely sand cast enough. I think that I can spec these with just two edges. So we got this flat ground and this flat edge, and then this other edge is sand cast, right? So it has the look and characteristics of a vintage with this pebbled texture, but importantly for us and for Gibson is you're paying to grind this surface and this surface, two surfaces, rather than this surface, this surface, this surface, this surface. We're now at 4. That surface and that surface, you're now at 6. Typically and if you get a modern magnet or an Alnico magnet that's all shiny all over, you've paid extra money for those. Someone's paid extra money to have all 6 of those sides done. Okay. Anyway, there's our Thompson Skinner magnets that apparently, according to them, have some magical purpose. Where's the date on here? Well, let's see, it says 0324. Well, this is a real deal. That's not a fake tag. That came from Indianapolis. So anyway, all right. So but I mean, you wouldn't know that. You wouldn't know that unless you had to kind of like go through the process of speccing out magnets. I mean, I didn't realize that the first time I ordered them, around 2007? Probably. I got to look at the records, but, a long time ago.
Yeah.
And then when you realize it, you're like, oh, that's why that they look like this. People don't want to shell out the money. Okay, Matthew, you're checking your notes there for
Yes.
Fred of Philosophy.
Okay,
so Fred, we have developed this segment called Fred of Philosophy. This is going to be deep thoughts of philosophical, perhaps, nature, and just observations, questions related to guitars. And we have an important object here that will aid us in channeling these. What do we have here? You've got it in a little bag.
It's a protective little
okay.
sack here.
The audience
I don't
is
think I
waiting with bated breath. Let's see what that thing is.
Should I touch it? I think the power of the relic will overwhelm me if I. You see what we have here?
Oh, this is perhaps this could be the very first. This is we're going to call this the very first broken Les Paul headstock.
I think it is. You can't.
Now this is I guess this could be.
Yeah.
It has no serial number on the back, and on top of that, it's a rare of the rare. It is. It's got a stinger.
Nice.
And through fate and a life of probably amazing riffs, it has had its headstock broken. So the wisdom contained within this and what it has heard, seen, experienced is probably immeasurable.
Last 72 years.
Right?
Yeah.
And we have yet to come up with, we would probably need suggestions on the name for this. And what was my idea? Who's the sort of soothsayer of old, I'm drawing a blank.
Are we talking the Johnny Carson one? Or?
No. This was, I'll think of it later.
Okay.
I'll put it up here if I remember. But it would be the severed headstock of that person.
Ichabod Crane?
No, but we'll think of it.
He
Okay,
had
so
no head, so he couldn't use
so
that.
while you want to go first, Matthew?
Sure.
You'll hold this,
Okay, I'll hold it.
and you will have a deep guitar thought that we will then discuss. You're overdoing it.
Okay, I'm gonna ask it my question.
Okay, let's hear it.
I said, if I buy a guitar case In just the case, will a guitar find its way to that case?
Oh, I see. Buy it and the guitar will come.
That's the idea. So you could always afford a case.
Yes.
Get a case and just
I believe in this one. I've done it. We'll discuss it later, though.
Okay.
Or should we discuss it now? I do believe in this.
You do believe in that?
Yes, I love.
faith?
I did not know this was going to be your question, but it's. I've got. I really like 86, 87, and 85 American vintage Stratocasters, and I have bought cases with the anticipation that there will be a guitar to go in it, and I have been right.
How many times? More than once?
I've still got 2 cases waiting.
Well,
So
at least one time.
at least twice prior
Twice
to that.
already. Oh,
yeah,
that's good.
at least twice prior to that. Okay, my turn.
Yeah.
Okay, if I hate tube screamers, why did I buy 3 of them? Can you answer that?
I guess you were feeling. I assume you
I
bought
don't
a tube.
like them.
Oh, like did you buy? You bought a tube screamer.
I'll show you them. I'll show you them.
You bought-
I'll show you my first one.
Okay. You bought
Okay.
these when you were probably infatuated with Stevie
I
Ray
bought
Vaughan
this
or
brand
something.
new. Now people love these now. Now I got this at Musician's Friend, or maybe it was Music Emporium. I don't remember. The Music Emporium, I don't say Music Emporium now, but it was like the first version of Musician's Friend. And I think I got it for like $35 because they were closing them out.
Really?
It was dirt cheap. And I thought, like, well, everybody's got one. I tried them in stores, tube screamers, and I'm like, well, I didn't like them in the store. But I thought, like, I play guitar. You have to have a tube screamer, right? And I thought, like, no, I don't like them. So years go by.
And what is that? What
And
does
I
that
think,
sell
like,
for
oh,
now?
maybe,
What does that sell for now?
I don't know. John Mayer played one of these things, and now people love it.
That version.
Yeah. We're just waiting for him to get throwback pickups. That's
Yeah.
it. Okay, so years go by, and then I think, well, maybe the problem was I did not have one that, looked more, I didn't have the TS9. I settled for this TS10 that, maybe that's the difference.
Right.
Right? And I didn't like it.
Didn't like the circuit either?
So what did I do? I drilled a hole in it, and I put a dip switch on there, and I put different diodes in it, and I experimented with a bunch of different ones, and it sounded better, but I still didn't like it.
Like,
And I thought, and I did this because I thought, too, we're making pedals. I need to, well, actually, at the time, I was experimenting making pedal. I was making pedals for myself, and I thought, like, well, I need to make it a tube screamer. Everybody makes one.
right.
It needs to be in my toolkit. I didn't like it. So, I don't know, a few years ago, I bought this. I not only bought this, but I bought it, like, when it was, like, you had to, like, wait in line for it. And why did I buy it? Because it had something that it called the new tube in it. And that is some sort of LED thing that they run the signal through that's supposed to act like a tube. It's an LED tube.
Oh, okay.
And it makes, lights and stuff. And I guess it has a little effect on the sound. I didn't find it off-putting, but I didn't find it any less off-putting than any of those other two, right?
So
Now,
not a
this is
fan,
not
so-
Ibanez's fault. I just don't get it. Now, I must say, though, out of all of them, this is the one that I can make sound the closest to something I might want to use.
Yeah. You find
Right?
it a little too harsh?
I'm
or too-
probably overloading the microphone all day today. Though that magnet tug got me worked up.
You
But
got, you're a little,
okay.
little hot under the collar. But
All right.
that's
Do you have another thing for
well,
the
yeah,
fretted philosophy?
I'm holding the broken
I
headstock
can
again.
see it. I can see it glowing.
You can see in the light, is it moving?
Yeah.
Keep my hands away from it. So my question is, and this actually pretty is deep, and you can actually use this in your defense.
I've not heard this one yet.
No, you could use this in your own defense with family members or a significant other.
Oh, so this is a life lesson of sorts.
Yes. Do you actually own a guitar, or are you simply the
or the
caretaker?
We've heard this before, yes. Okay, let me think about this. I think you're a caretaker unless, what's a guitar I can't stand?
I don't know.
If I said it, everybody would think I was crazy. Yeah, I think it's true, but I think there are some. I think there's very rare exceptions of guitars that won't ever qualify as guitars worthy of caretaker. But that's probably not even true. Yeah, it's true.
Unless you're really short on cash.
Yeah. Well, no, unless you need firewood.
You need firewood.
Yeah, if you need firewood, then it's
Either freezing to death or
that it's got to go. All right.
All right.
Okay. So
Your turn.
my last one is this is a philosophy that I have employed for myself.
Okay.
We do gigs periodically, so when you're at a gig and you make a mistake, make the mistake again, and then it's no longer a mistake. I've
Yes.
done this.
yes.
My theory, I think it
Put that into
works
practice.
maybe 40% of the time. Let's say you make a really horrible note during the solo. Rather than just jamming your gears about it, you do it again and then you recover, and then people are like, wow, how do you do that?
That was avant-garde.
That must have been on purpose.
You're seeing like avant-garde blues here, or
Yeah.
avant-garde.
Okay, well, here, we got to put this back.
Oh, let's go back in the
Put it back in its safety bag here. Okay. Now that's
Till next time.
maybe you guys will have a name for this. Okay, Matthew. Now I've gone on about magnets, but we will remind people that today is Free Strings Friday,
Right.
and the purpose of that is just today, this date of.
March 29th.
You get free strings on the Throwback website if you're a viewer of this and use the product coupon code below. Whatever you get, put it in there. The coupon code, and in the order notes, just tell us what you want.
Right.
You know, you want
Easy
one
enough.
set of strings. Tell us if they're pure nickel hex core, pure nickel round core, nickel plated steel hex core, nickel plated round core, phosphor bronze round core, phosphor bronze hex core, 10 to 46. You know, to give us the size, we'll give you a set of strings with it. Okay, you've been going through your sheets here from
Right.
the Philip McKnight podcast, and he, you know, the point I've kind of gone on a tangent of magnets.
Well, he kind of he talks about all the other little things that go into making
Oh, okay.
a repro and trying to make
Yes, I
something
remember.
authentic. And he's saying what people are selling and they're trying to sell is authenticity.
Yes, and okay, so yeah, go on. Is there more that you should say before I talk? No.
No, I think that's kind of it.
The upshot of it is, I think he mentions that people kind of substitute the claim of authenticity for innovation,
Right,
right?
right.
And I guess that's kind of true. We don't claim to be innovating, though. So our purpose of making a repro, and by the way, I don't think Phil McKnight was talking to us specifically.
No.
Even though he used our photo. The interesting thing about the photo on the website is I think even with his comments about this, there is a draw to the idea of making a reproduction based upon old processes.
Oh, absolutely.
So much so that a cool old pickup winding machine that came out of the factory with all the original fixtures on it is compelling enough to him to put it on the website, his website, right? I don't know how Phil winds them, but and I'm glad he's got his own business making pickups. He enjoys it. Good, more power to him. But the idea of this sort of repro thing is that for us, we make a repro, and we charge a lot of money for it. And I want to be able to back up everything we do with as much information as I can supply, so that not is only compelling to our customers, but it is for the people that want to know those specs because they can't afford a vintage pickup, or maybe they can afford it, but they just can't find enough that meet the specs they want here in a pickup. They know that we're committed to doing everything we can do to do everything with a repro, right? So I think for us, we're not claiming to be innovating, but we're claiming to make the most detailed repro for what we make with a combination of specs that frankly we don't know anybody that can match it, right? And so what does that entail for us? Let's just use the PAFs as a example. Mm-hmm. We control all the material specs of everything we make, and we have it. The way to do this is to have it made in the U.S. The material specs include, what's it made out of? The material's a spec of the vintage one. That includes plastic. That includes the cosmetics of it. It includes, very importantly, that we've got a set of winding machines that are unmatched by anybody in the industry as far as their capabilities, finished capabilities. 2 out of the Gibson factory, the other 2 we can confirm were used by Gibson, models of machines used by Gibson. No one can match that spec. Seymour Duncan has a Lee Sona 102 machine. We've got 4, but I'm not bragging, but we've got 4. But but his did come out of the factory. We've got 2 other machines that came out of the factory, and then the others that we know came out of the factory, Gibson has some Meteor machines. And they have many more, I think, than what they had at the factory in Kalamazoo. But that's it. The combination we've got, neither of those 2 can match it. We've got all of those and more. And we're committed to communicating that with people because, what we make is expensive, but we want people to know what we make is actually measuring up to what we claim, right? So we've got videos that provide all that info. Where was I going with that, Matthew? I think I'm done with that.
Well, no, you're making the right points, and you're just backing up.
Yeah.
That's everything from the Butyrite bobbins to the base plates to.
Yeah, yes. So I think in there he mentioned stuff about, the right plastic, the right base plates. For a lot of people, if they want something that they don't want everything in a repro. We want to make everything in a repro for the customers that want everything in a repro. And we think we do a pretty good job at it. But, there's a lot of people that want something less at everything, and something less at everything will cost less than having everything. And, we make stuff for people that want everything in a repro. And weirdly, it's now sort of become innovative to do that when it comes to like USA made parts and that sort of thing. So, we don't kind of claim anything of it as magical with that. But there's a difference. And it might be part of the quality people perceive as magic, right? And I think, too, he says in this or a previous podcast, he mentions that, Phil mentions that I think he had a tour of Kiesel factory, and they didn't show the pickup making department because I guess they had the recipes for pickups on the wall, and, understandably, they didn't want to show it. But the guy from Kiesel said, pickups are math, they're not magic. Okay? My feeling is everything's math. You could break everything down into a mathematical sort of universe. But it has to do with how granular do you want to get with it. The best shortcut to the math is have the machines, have the right spec parts, do the process exactly how it was done, which is part of the machines, and you assemble it the same way. And the interesting part of the magic comment there is, what do magicians do? A magician doesn't tell his secrets.
That's true.
So if there's no magic involved, why would Kiesel not expose the pickup winding room? Because they know on some level what they make has a magical quality that they want to keep that secret. And part of it, musical instrument, is that it's magical. People, it magically can people can interpret the same instrument differently just by virtue of it being in their hands. Doing our segment here called Rorschach Riffs. I'm not going to do it this week.
No.
This was Matthew. Matthew, you want to explain it? What's going to happen here?
Okay.
It's Rorschach Riffs.
It's Rorschach Riffs. It's going to be a little.
I feel naked without the guitar.
It's a very short little piece, but in the piece there's 4 different little riffs, and you got to try to pick them out.
Okay, so I have not heard this.
No.
I am and the audience as well, is supposed to pick out the 4 riffs you're going to play in rapid succession. And this is not, what I think makes this fun is, we're not doing, I'm going to history of rock and roll in one take, and then some, great guitar player does them all. It's us.
Just ordinary Joe.
It's going to be, we're going to see what happens.
Yeah.
And Whenever you're ready, Matthew.
Okay.
For the viewing audience, we're
My
good.
palms are sweating. All right.
That'll
Okay, I did practice this. Let me.
Okay.
I'm just gonna mentally go through it in
Rorschach
my
riffs
head.
here. All right, you visualize.
Okay, here we go. Ready?
Yeah. Oh, I already know it. Oh, you're Canadian. Is that all of it?
That's it.
That's it. Okay, we'll let the audience think about that. And there's Rush in there.
There was a little Russian
You're
there.
Canadian.
I had to pay homage.
The first one, I knew what the first one was, but now I've drawn a blank. The Rush reference overtook it.
Maybe I played it a little too fast. I was a little nervous.
Play it again.
Oh, do it again.
Well, okay. The last one is, I know the song.
My version is the kind of Paul McCartney version of it.
Oh, I forgot the name of it. I know the name of it.
More hint.
Well, just let's play it again
And
for
do
those that
do-
might need it again.
I'll do the whole thing.
Yes. And there's a whole lot of Rosie.
Yeah.
Okay. There's 3 in there or 4?
There's 4.
Holy shit. Okay, whole
So you
lot of
got-
Rosie and
That's the first one.
yes, and the Rush one is
That's number 3.
now I'm drawing a blank on what the do it again.
All right. Ah.
Oh, it's a Fleetwood Mac. Oh well.
I don't know.
Second in there. The second one's a well.
The second. Well, to me, the second one is supposed to be Layla.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
Well,
Maybe it's a well.
okay. Well, it's okay. Okay. And was that Fly By Night? No.
It's Limelight.
Limelight. Ah, damn it. Okay. I see. It's a weird. I'm forgetting exactly what I heard.
And did you get the last
previously.
one?
It's I know the song. Dun, 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 dun. So, is you in the name of the title? No.
No, it starts with a C. It's Bo Diddley.
Another hint.
You're always telling me the things you
Oh,
do.
damn it. I'm not remembering it. You've made me swear, Matt. Well, this is frustrating enough that, okay,
Let me tell you.
we have to come up with a point system for this because obviously I've not gotten a perfect score.
Well, you get 3 out of 4.
Is it around in the name of the word of the song? The
Up
last
is-
one? Up?
Up is at the end of it. C. Bo Diddley. I don't think if it was used. It wasn't used in. Was it used in the movie or something? I don't think so.
Okay, well, the viewers will know this. You want to play it once more time for anybody who needs another one?
The whole thing.
No, the whole thing. It's beautiful. Okay, all right. What's the last one?
Cracking up.
Cracking up. Okay, shoot. Okay, all right. All right, Matthew. Well, that's the end of.
Oh, Rorschach riffs. That was
Yeah.
Rorschach riffs. I have to put that up.
Yeah.
Trademark that. I think that's a good
Okay,
segment.
I think that's everything. Okay, so thanks for watching. Leave any questions and comments in there. Like the channel. Subscribe. Watch our other videos. We got lots of other stuff, maybe not as entertaining as this one, but close. And once again, thanks for letting Throwback be part of your search for great guitar tone.